Welcome to Toffee TV, it's the final word. Crystal Palace 0, Everton 1. We're joined by Fedz, whose girlfriend emailed me constantly for months to get him on the show because he said he likes it and she just wants a bit of peace and quiet to go to speak retail. Basically, that's what it was.
Oh, what it was. She'd have emailed me, it'd have been done off the wall.
Yeah, but
anyway, let's move on.
You wouldn't, because you don't even read the emails.
I do sometimes.
Well, you don't, let's be honest.
Busy
If there's an interruption in this video, it's because Baz has got a heart monitor on.
I haven't got a heart monitor on. It's a blood pressure machine.
Some people might say that's quite similar to a heart monitor.
That's why you're not a doctor.
Well, I'm
not a doctor.
Well, it's not. The reason I'm not a doctor is because I didn't devote 7 years of my life to one craft. I donated 30 years to Everton instead.
And the rest.
Yeah, no, you're right. Bit longer, but
well, not my bits. Anyway,
so
Palace, final word.
Crystal. So what happens if it starts beeping though?
Doesn't beep.
But you said it'll beep after 30 minutes.
Makes a noise. That's all.
What kind of noise does it make?
Like that.
Okay. So it's gonna hum.
It'll hum.
Okay, it'll hum. Fine. I just want to establish that. Imagine you could get that's a market. That is actually a heart monitor.
It's not a heart monitor.
Okay, blood pressure monitor, sound, ringtones, yeah. It could go Now, would that make it worse?
I don't know.
Crazy. I probably wouldn't even remember what Crazy Frog was. It was that long ago.
Yeah, I'm older than I look.
There was a time when you had to like text to get. Remember when you had to text to get ringtones? But if you were clever,
yeah, £8.90. It's like that. Seen them magazines they do when it was like that. 1,000 ringtones for £8.99.
I've got half a Jedi, and it's cost me
and the Crazy Frog ringtone.
Right, yeah. So 3 points. Sellers Park.
Finally.
Brilliant. Loved it. What a perform. 3 points. There you go. Made up.
Since they've come back up, we played them 4 times at Sellers Park, and they've not scored a goal past us yet.
It's a good start.
2-1 wins, 2-0 draws.
It's a good start.
It's a good start. It's hard to believe though, isn't it? Because we always seem to just grind and struggle against them.
We always seem to draw against them.
At home, it's bad against them. We haven't beat them at home since
no.
But away from home, but alright, I don't know why.
This team is gonna start doing those things now, isn't it? Like we beat Leicester. That was the first time we've beaten Leicester since they'd come up, and you know, we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start breaking records and winning. Anfield. Oh, Tom Davies.
Big Stand.
Big Stand FC with their Club Wembley fans coming out halfway through the second half. You gotta be angry if you read about that.
Oh, you wouldn't be happy.
Oh, I wouldn't be happy about that. I mean, because if you've been on the waiting list for 87 years and you see people coming out with, like, you know, hot nachos in one hand and a
Dunkin' Donuts in the other.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah. You're not gonna be happy, are you? I digress. So yeah, back to us.
3-5-2. Happy days.
Well, we thought, Fedz, that we didn't think. We made a suggestion that we thought Morgan Snyder was going to play the game because we just thought this might be a little bit more. But he kept faith with Barry. Said he couldn't change a winning team, and just that mentality alone is it's the way. It's the way, isn't it?
Been saying it for a while that he came in, didn't he, at the start and said if you do well, you're going to play. And he started tinkering early on, obviously just trying to find who was like cut the wheat from the chaff, weren't it, really? But then I thought the thing with Morgan is you made a point
on first name terms.
Why not?
Jeffrey, old Jeffrey, that they buy him, so they play him even though he's not match fit. Now, a little thought I had about Schneiderlin was, yeah, Barry's done well, and you want to bring Morgan in, but is it that match sharpness that he done it a couple of times when he come on against City, and he even done it against Palace the other day. Just is it half a yard or he nicks in and he gives a free kick away? And if you do that against Palace, you've got Benteke in the box.
You bring guests on like this,
you know,
think outside the box.
You know,
think outside.
Otherwise, it'd be a penalty. If he was nicking it inside, it'd be a penalty.
No, I mean, go on, Baz.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably right, and I think, you know, you've got to. Gareth Barry played well, didn't he, against City in the right areas, and he done it against that, and it's a case, I suppose, of, getting them used to it. But I think it's a big positive that we've bought a player for 20 million and we're not going, he's got to go in and you're hanging all your hopes on him. He's just another one of the players that are coming in. And, you know, we got half an hour against City, half an hour against Palace, so, you know. And
I suppose that's a reaction for Barry as well, because Barry's going to have to start thinking now, I've got to play well, because if I don't play well, if I can't, I mean, and, you know, Barry's been immaculate, and I think he's only really dropped off because of the amount of games he's played. But now he's got to start thinking but what I suppose what's happened in the meantime of Sneijder coming is that Barry now has got more. I mean, you had Garner next to him, but I don't know. There just seems to be a little bit more energy. I don't know whether it's just Davies and the fact that Holgate's in there. In the team, but there just seems to be a little bit more energy now, and he's not having to get caught up in areas. I'm not saying he's changed his game. I just think there's a little bit more energy in there, and maybe there's a little bit more energy at the club. I mean, this is the thing when new players come in and people go, "I'm made up," and you would think that it would be the other way, wouldn't you? Think that when someone new signed, everyone would go, "Oh, I'm not sure about that," you know. New boy in the class, we're all, is he going to bring him in? But footballers don't seem to react like that. They seem to react positively, or the good footballers seem to react positively. They see
you play better, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they see it as a challenge as well. See it as a challenge, and I think that's the way. Barry's quite a clever person as well. He's not going to be going, well, I should be playing every single week. He's probably thinking, we'll take it as it comes and see what happens.
I think it's also the fact that he's been able to get through the game has coincided with the change in formation. I think just having the way we're playing now slightly differently is that it helps him. Doesn't have to do in that the 4-3. Well, it was never 4-3-3, but the black 4-3-3 that we played, he'd have to do a lot more on him. But I think that it is the energy of Davies. It is Ross coming back to form. It is Holgate being in there. And it's having the energy on the bench. It's looking over him.
He's not having to drop back into the pockets anymore at wing back and whatnot, because you've already got your three at the back. You've got your two wing backs doing that job as well. So he sticks to his own little area.
That's all he has to do.
That's it. I mean, I thought we started. I think not that we started slow, but I thought they started fast because I think they probably thought, and Allardyce being Allardyce has probably watched every game we've played this season and all looked at when people had scored early against us. He probably thought that was his best chance of getting through the game, scoring early. And to be fair, there's been a lot of games where we pretty much for the entire 2016 year, wasn't it? Really, we started really slow, and some teams nicked the goal early, and that might have gone through the whole game then. And it looked like he thought, well, if we can grab one early and then defend for our lives, we can do these today. And obviously Ben Ticky hits the bar with the header. But I thought once we got through that little rough patch, first 10 minutes, we just got the ball, played at our pace, which I thought was really important, and started cutting them open. It was just that we couldn't finish it off, basically, for most of the game. It was just that we couldn't get the final pass right or the finish right, and that's all it was.
Yeah, they started really lively, didn't he? Remy looked up for it. Ben Secker was winning headers. They had the one that hits the bar, but we just kind of got our foot on the ball after that and started. We were nice and patient. We broke quickly, and you know we've been critical in the past of them not creating things in the final third, but their keepers had to come up big 3 times in that first half, and we've hit the post. You know, we could have gone in 3-1 up. You know, Ben Secker's header goes in. The saves that he makes from Morales was a cracking save, and the one from Murray,
I couldn't understand how that didn't go in. I was watching it on telly. I'm usually a shit like a leaf when I watch it on telly, but there was something about Saturday that I was just quite patient because it seemed it was all going the right way. Then he pulls that one out, and the ref, I don't think the ref signalled corner straight away, and I was like, how's he missed that from there? Then you show the replay and it's cracking save.
To be fair to Murray, it was great composure in the box. You know, really, really good first touch. We've always said he's probably better in the opposition box than he is in our box. He was really composed, and it was an amazing save. But what was good was, for all of it, I never got that feeling that we weren't going to score. I always felt like we were going to score. It wasn't like, it's not going to be our... You get those, we go, it's not going to be our day. I never felt like that at all. The whole game, I always felt quite... I don't know whether because it led on from last week and because of how well we played last week, and it was almost like, well, if we draw this game, I understand. You give them a little bit more leeway when you've just seen such a good performance. Yeah. So there was never any point where I was worried, and it was just about getting that final product. But the manner of which we controlled it, because this is something we spoke about last week in the preview, was it was going to be a completely different game. Yeah. It was going to be us having a lot of the ball and Palace trying to play like we did against City, then playing on the break, and I suppose it's do you know when people laugh? No, well, it's not laugh, but no, when people say that Lukaku doesn't move. Wow, imagine we have Benteke. Whoa,
I'd still have Benteke.
No, I know.
But he doesn't move, does he?
Oh my God, does he not move? Oh, he doesn't go anywhere, that lad. And he's a good player, and whether he's packed his bags and doesn't want it, I don't know. But you mentioned Remy. Remy was actually very dangerous. What a good player he is.
It was him that put a really good cross in first half. And
Joel should have I don't know what Joel was doing there. The only thing he didn't do comfortably, just let it go over his head, and you're thinking, just caught the cross. But Remy was there. He was there live while he wasn't, punching was trying to pull the strings. He was nearly doing it. Isn't Kabay a little shit as well?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he is
horrible. He's for such a good footballer. What a horrible.
I think that's frustration of being at a club like this, like Crystal Palace. Yeah. Imagine you've just been playing. Imagine. Now, number one, you've got out of Newcastle. Now that's everyone's dream to get out of Newcastle.
But he was adored there, though.
No, but just to get out of Newcastle is everyone's dream. Anyone who lives in Newcastle, their dream is just to get out of Newcastle. Full stop. Right, so he's got to move to Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, he doesn't play much games there, but listen, he gets to share a squad with Zlatan. That's literally the second dream of most people in the world, to just be near Zlatan. It is probably my first team. And then he goes to Crystal Palace, and
well, he went there because of Pardew, didn't he? So now he must be thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone there to get the London life, hasn't he? And he was probably promised that Palace were going to kick on. And to be honest, he's actually one of the reasons I think Palace haven't kicked on. And not him personally, but they tried to change their style of play too fast. They tried to evolve it, and this happens all the time in the Premier League. A team comes up, has a decent season, and goes, you know what we're going to do? We're going to be fucking boss. And they just try and change things too fast, and then that's where they go. Yeah, that's why you're about to get relegated. It happens all the time, doesn't it? They go.
I don't think they'll go down.
No, but
I know what you mean.
But you look at teams and they have one good season and they go, let's rip up everything that made us good, and let's start signing Russian players that you've never heard of for 30 million and stuff like that, and that's what ruins them. And I think they need to
Russian players for 13.5 million.
13.5 million. Oh, he was great. Yes. Oh, what a player! What a player.
But it's like you look at Bournemouth haven't done that.
Yeah.
And Stoke, they always say Stoke's the template on how to actually succeed, and they've not done that. So
not really, no. They just took good players and just kept going long ball, essentially. Just getting good players to go long ball. But they're more accurate long balls because they're better players.
They've kept it back.
How many people have I insulted so far this year?
There's 3 Premier League teams already. No, I think that what I liked about Saturday was the fact that we saw a different display from Tom Davies. He's been sparkling against City, and he was more of a midfield player. Saturday he was getting in, getting stuck in, nicking things. I thought Mason Holgate, after he left one on Kabay and got the book, and after that I thought he was so mature in terms of standing up, not diving in, because their crowd are a good crowd. They can get on the referee's back and keep the team going.
Except the drum.
I thought, I'm saying for atmosphere wise and stuff like that. So I thought Holgate was really good, and I said on the reaction after it was more about our defence, I thought, at the weekend, in terms of what we had to cope with, because they were hanging that diagonal ball up. We were winning the first ball, which we don't normally do against them. And we were making sure if we didn't win the first one, we won the second, and we negated them to very little. It was only the real Scott dance.
When it was the Goodison one, and they highlighted it, was it Friday Night Football that one, wasn't it? Yeah. So Henry, and they were highlighting what Everton should watch out for, and they showed how many examples of this ball into Benteke, and then he scored one of them in that leg, and you just watch it, and you're like, so you're watching for the same thing, but I think we dealt with it really well, especially with. Apart from obviously the one we're at the bar.
But I think the fact that we've got 3 centre backs now means you can deal with that a lot better, because Seamus gets caught so many times. I'm sure he's blind and what he did one on Saturday. The lad did the same thing. Lad did the same thing, cut it around the back of him. But when you got 3 centre backs, that allows you to deal with that so much better, because you've got a proper. Full backs are not proper defenders. They're not though. I mean, they're not though.
They're really in the box.
They're not going to go.
The half attackers, half. Yeah. Most of them are just
nowadays. The half.
Most of them are just less talented midfielders.
It's another offence.
No, they are. They just get pushed back there because they're not good enough playing midfield. But if you've got 3 centre, but no, Baines is boss. If you've got 3 centre backs, they can cope with that so much better. And even if the first one gets 1, they can deal with the second one a lot better.
You've got 2 for the knockdown.
Yeah, exactly. But we dealt with it so much better. And as you're saying, and the amount of times Davies was there or thereabouts and just nicks the ball.
If you watched the Benteke one that you spoke about, just watch Funes Mori for it.
Is this
the one that it's the bar?
Oh,
does he in the ass?
It's just Benteke, he doesn't even jump, he just allows Benteke to jump, he just stands with him like that, and Benteke just steps off him and heads, and you're thinking, you're a big lad, go and jump into him, you're going to foul him. And then he has it, here we go. He has it, just talk a bit louder if you won't pick it up. And then, did you see the one?
Sorry, I'm distracted by.
Did you see the one just before half time?
That was Baz's piss back going off. Go on.
The one just before half time when I think it's Puncheon plays it in, and Mori's marking Remy, and Remy just runs around the back of him, and Joel has to grab it. Mori doesn't even
switched off a bit there.
He just didn't even go, oh, he's my man.
He does switch off.
But then he does the good stuff, and you're going, I can't work out.
Yeah,
which one you are, you know.
He might get that consistency eventually if he plays enough games.
That's why you've got to run with your man.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need telling that. If you're a centre back, you run with the man, run with him. You know, but in the first half, I think you're right. Davies won, nicked so many balls. Ross was nice and lively. Rom, kept them too busy. I was very disappointed with Morale.
That's not a shock, is it?
No, he was brilliant against City. He was absolutely.
I think he started all right.
He started brightly, but then he just faded. Yeah, that shot was brilliant. The keeper makes, and that would have gone in. I think he'd have gone up another level. But I said in me reaction thing as well, it might have been more Koeman might have asked him to play a little bit of a different role this week. Whereas against City, he was very much a 2.
Last week though, because he played on the break, that helped him so much more. Find those spaces in between them. But look how far back there, back forward. He's not a centre forward as such, is he?
But he needs to get tight.
Yeah,
go tighter on later on. I mean,
but I think the difference is though, Lookman's got that sheer pace where you can just. He's a live wire. That's what we've paid for. Morales is a little bit longer than the tooth, obviously, but I mean, I thought Ross. I thought his performance was brilliant. I thought he was so measured, and the way he was picking the ball up. And I mentioned this earlier is he was running with the ball, but he was running into space rather than running at people. And I thought that gets you up the pitch a lot faster and gets you higher. I mean, you've spoken about it before. We don't really have another player at the club who can pick the ball up and run 60 yards. But because he was running into the spaces, it got us higher and higher and higher and higher. And he was a lot more confident in his own ability.
A lot more mature, wasn't he, this weekend? He was like we've said it. Well, you've said it in the past, where he needs to just be grabbing games, and I should be bossing this on 23 years old, or however old he is. It should be my game. We're running this midfield, and I felt like he did that on Saturday. He thought, I think my time.
I thought he was better the week before. I thought he'd done well Saturday, but I thought he was more instrumental against Man City. I felt, but Saturday was I think it was probably it was an away performance from Ross. Where it Goodison, he'll take chances and he'll go by people. I don't think he'd done it in dangerous areas.
But I thought
he'd done it in the right places.
I think
that was the difference.
I think he created 3 chances for himself on his own, and that's not what we've seen recently. Ross Barkley, and he the one in the first half. I mean, he's almost tried to put it top in too accurate instead of just getting the strike off. And then the other ones, I mean, there's 2 in the second half. The first one, the ball by Davies was just
sublime,
unreal, because he didn't. Not only did he do it on the run, but he did it not aiming to hit where Ross was. He was aiming to hit where Ross was going.
Space,
and it was just that Ross again got caught in two minds whether to have the shot or to. I don't know what he.
I don't think he could have done anything else there. I think
Morales scored from that position, didn't he, against City? I don't think he was.
I think Rom should have been straight in there. He should have been burst in the gut to get a tap. Should have been it. He held back and
then the other one, he's picked it up and he's run outside the player and just left him for dead.
An extra touch he needed.
And he just again he's seen. I don't know where Rom complicates the fact. You just think maybe if Rom wasn't there, he would take another touch and he would just smash it then. But and then Rom's saying, well, I want it here, and it's just getting that. But the fact that where he's come from in the last few weeks, from being a player that wasn't doing any of that to where he was in the last 2 weeks, suggests that if it keeps going, then he's going to get back into doing what he was doing a couple of years ago, a lot more consistent.
The Ross that we all wanted to see.
I think it's been a few games now. I think Arsenal, he was majestic, won that. He set the game up with that tackle when we were 1-0 down, that challenge. I think Liverpool wasn't a good night for him, but it wasn't a good night for many of them really. But then he came on at Leicester, didn't he? Set Rom's goal up, and he played quite well at Leicester. And then from there, thought he scored against Hull, got the equaliser late on against Hull. Southampton, he was brilliant, and he's just built and that momentum. Now everybody else is playing well around him. Everyone's not looking to him, and so all of a sudden he's just doing what he can do, and so when he's doing it, it's now sparkling because other people are doing it. Tom Davies is taking it forward. Morales,
Jamie Redknapp, I think he said that because he's not the new kid on the block and all the attention is on Davies now, that he's just like weight off his shoulders, just go and play football.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing I've always said about Ross. It's mentally can he handle it, and I don't know. It's not a criticism, it's just the way he's built. I don't know whether he wants that. He just seems to be he is quiet and he doesn't do much press and he doesn't do much of anything. He just wants to get on with what he's doing. You don't hear him causing any trouble or anything like that. He just gets on with what he wants to do, and when it comes on the pitch, it's almost like it builds up. Whereas you've seen Tom Davies come into it and he's just like, and this and that, and he's in front of the cameras and Ross must be like, this is boss, this. I don't know.
They all want him.
They all want him. I can go to the Odeon again to watch me films and all the rest of it. I can go to Nando's and be left alone. And
I think it's a thing with people overlook confidence too much. People will look at players and go, "Oh, he's fucking crap," and he's not going to do that. Confidence is massive, and it depends what type of character you are. And if you are that character, like you suggesting Ross is, he's quiet. He just wants to play for Everton and do his thing. He does. People are calling him everything. The fans are on his back. He mightn't be able to handle that well. Whereas if now everyone's made up with Tom Davies and Mason Holgate, he can just go out and perform and perform to the level and it's also, it has coincided with the fact that we kind of play in the way Koeman has wanted us to play from day one. We're super fit. It's another late goal. I don't think any team scored as many late goals as Everton this season. Everyone's playing and pressing the way he wants them to now, and it just looks like. There was one of the things on our Twitter thing you'd asked about what we should discuss, and one of them was, what's the difference between the run at the start of the season and this run now? The run at the start of the season seemed almost by accident, not by accident, but seemed we just ground some results out, we took our goals. This seems like what he wants. It
seems more measured,
and that's
doesn't
the
it?
difference, and that for me is the difference. It looks like they're going, since that Watford defeat, it looks like they're going somewhere with.
And the other thing is, like,
way of playing.
We've never played 90 minutes of what
he wants
to do. We do an half, or we do it in spells, but it's getting like
the last two performances have been good for very different reasons. But just going back to Ross, I think the other thing I don't know, but you would think as well that man has loved them. Loved the bones of them, loved them, and you can imagine that the always putting the arm around them no matter when things were. Whereas this fella's come in and just when he just took off at Sunderland, it's not only a confidence thing, but I wonder if Ross was really feeling worried about his Everton career.
It's enough talk, wasn't
you know what I mean? And really fearing, and as some players would take that in one way and be going, I've got to get up to this. But if you're playing for your boyhood club and suddenly a manager comes in and he really could kick you out of your club, that would destroy me as a person.
Any line of work, if you're feeling pressure, you're unlikely to perform that well, are you?
So
I think that the thing is, it's evident the players are saying it. We had Baines talking about cleverly last week. Seamus Coleman done a piece yesterday. You know, obviously after the match it came on yesterday, saying the same thing. Everyone's worried now, and we know we've got to perform. And Baines, it's like Baines said, in the past, they might have been like, yeah, we're playing crap here, but the club haven't got any money. So they're not really going to go and buy another player to replace me because they haven't got that kind of money, you know. And I mean, now, everyone knows the money, the players know the money's there. And so it's do I really want this?
It's different pressure though, and it's like good pressure.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, you know, a player who I love's just gone to Milan.
Yeah.
And because he hasn't been performing, and that's the way it is, you know. And he's in the past, that would have been someone who's coming to the end, not Milan, but someone's coming to the end of the career out now. He's at 21.
But I wouldn't also say that. I'd say in this last 6 weeks, it's not even a case of having to sell people. He's just bombed people out, and luckily enough, knew that there was kids. There was replacements in the under 23s who could come in and take the place. He's just bomb people out, bomb people like Oviedo out. Yeah. You know, they're not even looking like they're leaving the club. He's just bombed them out. He's not arsed. He doesn't need to justify what they get paid a week.
Captain sat on the bench.
Yeah,
the club captain.
And looks like he's gonna go because he needs to finish his career off. He's not arsed. He just doesn't care about who you are or what you earn or how much you cost. That's someone else's problem. This has always been the big thing with Koeman, and it's sort of, it can be a help and it can be a hindrance. People go like you go back 6 weeks ago and people are like, he doesn't get the club. He doesn't seem to love the club. He doesn't seem to appreciate the club. He just it's Everton. It's not we. But then from the flip side of that, that's good because he can take the position where I don't care about you. I don't have to be bothered about you. I don't care if your name's Phil Jagier. I don't care if your name's Ross Barkley. I don't care if you were born an Evertonian and all the rest of it. I care about winning football matches, and that's what's starting to come to the surface now. And we've said this before: the right players will react the right way. Yeah. Andres Townsend's going back to Newcastle. What more does that say about? Yeah, what more does that say about footballers with the wrong attitude? He got bombed out of Spurs, went to Newcastle. Crystal Palace thought we'll have him. Now he's getting bombed out of Newcastle. Palace to go back to Newcastle. That's the point. Players are now starting to. The players who are on board are starting to see the rewards. Yeah. And that for me is the most important thing. And people like Jerry, who, as lovely as a footballer he is, and he's great on Instagram with his dog in Sefton Park, he didn't want it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to work hard.
Attitude, isn't it?
Doesn't want to work hard. He's a great footballer when he wants to be a great footballer, but you need to be more than that, because it doesn't get you anywhere if you're not prepared to. I seen a picture yesterday of Ross Barkley on Instagram. Funny enough, he was back in training in the gym.
I saw that.
Well, the Leighton Baines put one up the other night in a park.
On his own, on a park.
With Dave Billows doing doggies, and you're thinking
Ross's was the
he put the thing up, talent. You know, talent and all that.
But he put the thing up. See, this is what I said this last week, didn't I? With the Martinez thing, that first season when he come in, the players were because they'd been used to David Moyes. They were unsure about him. Possession. You could see them at times like looking, thinking, what the fuck? But we started winning, and so the players will go with it. And so the thing with the Koeman style, he wants that pressing. The players have been used to playing it one way. Come in, he went on about the fitness thing day one, and I think he's been clutching at that for months. He's wanted us to get up to that level, and while we have got fitter, we haven't been able to do what he wants up until probably after the Watford game when McCarthy come in, and you seen a midfielder who pressed with Garner, and you know, when we beat Arsenal. Since then they've started getting the rewards, and all of a sudden the players have gone, right, we get it now. And like you said, the ones who want to be in, the ones who want to do well, this manager has got a high profile. You want him to improve you as a player, and the ones who want to get better and better will buy into it, and the ones who aren't, I suppose the ones who haven't quite got that desire, will be moved on.
To be fair, there aren't. I don't know if there's that many that. I mean, someone like Tom Cleverley, it's just not good enough. Just simple as that, isn't he? He's not good enough.
For the way you
not good.
He didn't try, didn't he?
Oviedo, it's just not good enough. To be
injuries left him.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not having a go with the lad. I'm just saying he's just
Aaron
not.
Lennon.
Well, he's not good enough, but the manager, he still does enough for the manager to. And I know this is the great debate. I'd have Delafeu over. I wouldn't have Delafeu over a pack of crisps at the moment. For me, the lad's attitude is just not there, and I just, it's not a new thing. it's just not. He's not. I'm not saying he's a bad apple. He just doesn't seem to have it in him.
You don't know what he's been told, do you? He might have been told. I mean, he played down at Watford the last game he started, and I thought he had a decent game, and he didn't play him again. Come on as sub and things. So you don't know whether Koeman's kind of gone, listen, Jerry.
Under Martinez.
So therefore, he's probably thinking, I'm not going to play here. So his head's gone down.
Under Martinez, there was things like his timekeeping were really, really bad.
Like everyone's.
No, but
he wasn't good. Yeah. Well, he missed one of the. Was it this year? Was it under Koeman as well? He missed. Yeah, he was out of the cup. He didn't turn up for the cup, or he did. He was late, wasn't he, for the cup game?
But it was like a running joke at Finch Farm that like he used to get them. He used to have to be in for 10, and he'd get there for 9:59, like every training session. Yeah. And it's things like that, and you just think, well,
that'd be me.
And that's why now he gets them in at 8:30 and makes them have the breakfast and everything and all that malarkey, so they can't be late. And you just think stuff like that matters to people like Koeman. Fucking hell, that matters to people like Koeman. And you just think. The lad started the season as the number one centre forward, and is now gone on loan to Milan. That is a.
Do you think because he didn't get another chance up top? Tottenham,
I do think that's. I think he's probably gone. Swear this.
Yeah, because that was probably his best performance this season, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it did. He played really well that day, and he went to West Brom the week after, and it wasn't his type of game. But just because it's not your type of game, doesn't necessarily mean you maybe abandon what the managers asked you to do.
It's like Davis has already last two games he's shown two different types of his game.
Well, Davis was brilliant on Saturday. He just kept on nicking the ball. He was always in the right place, using his head all the time. He still has his little moments, of course he does. He's a kid, but he's just very, very clever at being in the and you know, you mentioned Holgate before, and those players coming into the squad. Number one, what they've done in the last couple of games is made themselves undroppable, which is a big thing, which is a huge thing for everybody.
Mason Holgate has replaced our club captain.
Yeah.
There's no bigger.
But also though,
at this moment, as a kid, there's no bigger.
Not only that though, Baz, he's actually dictating how we play.
Dictates how we play.
He dictates how we play because he's the manager wanted to have three centre backs. That's always been pretty much his style. It's you know, he wanted that. He tried it at Chelsea. It backfired spectacular. Now I remember Martinez trying three at the back, and it was awful. We were awful. And do you know what he did? He just got rid of it. He never tried to do it again. He just never tried it.
At Hull. But he had Gareth Barry centre back.
No, but that's whereas this fella's gone. Well, no, that's what I want to play, and we're gonna work away.
I've always thought though, for years since we had Baines and Koeman, that we should have played it under Moyes. We had the best wing backs in the land.
We had the best three centre backs you could ever ask for. We had Distan for the pace, we had Jagielka for the stability, and we had John Heitinga for the passing.
But then we replaced John Heitinga with John Stones, who could still do the same thing.
But that's what I'm saying. That could have progressed. But we've got three. We've got Davies. Getting
that more. Tackle by Holgate on Benteke in the second.
It wasn't even a tackle.
Benteke's running and he just waits and he waits and he waits.
It was Bobby Moore
and he just Bobby Moore. You could see Benteke like, I can't skin this kid. He just threw his hands up in the air and Holgate just.
The one time he does move and he's like, I'm not going
anywhere. Not going nowhere. But that kind of thing makes you look, and you already mentioned the pass by Davies.
But you know what I like about Holgate as well though? And we mentioned it this last week and we mentioned this week. Last week he got done twice by Aguero, like spectacularly done. I've seen kids' careers ruined at Everton. I've seen kids. John Hills. Yeah. I've seen kids play for Everton who've had terrible first couple of games and never recover. Just never recover. As Holgate last week got done by Aguero twice spectacularly bad. Like one he got left on his arse.
That when he was too tight.
Yeah.
One when he come inside.
There was one when he went on the outside, and I think that's when Funes Mori went down like he does. And kids wouldn't recover from that. Holgate recovered in the second half. He just recovered and then just started getting into people, and he did it on Saturday. There was one where, I think he got done, and then the second half he's immaculate. Same with Leicester. Leicester nearly scored by a Joas when he gave him that free header. He just got on with his game. He's got that mentality where again, it's not arrogance. It's the same with Davies. It's not arrogance. It's just they're getting brought through the right way. It's as simple as that.
Was it the Borough game when he came on as sub? Someone went down. I can't remember who it was.
United, he came on sub and he was unbelievable.
He got beaten in the air, and they got the header away, and it went. I don't think it went in. But after the game, he was speaking to Holgate, and he was like, "Yeah, it's something I know I did wrong. I've got to improve on it, so I'll get it right next time." And don't
forget with Holgate, don't forget when we played Man United in that pre-season in Rooney's testimonial, he played 3 at the back, and that showed how he wanted to go this season.
He took the ball off Zlatan. Oh man, about 3 times in a one-on-one, and you're like,
but that showed how
you'll do for me.
That showed how he wanted to play, and it was it was also a way of getting Holgate into the side when really he didn't have any experience.
David Unsworth's role in this can't be underplayed.
Friend of the show.
It's even forget the actual coaching stuff that he's done with him, which he's done with all and 20 of these brilliantly, but don't forget when we were struggling, he basically come and stuck his chest out and said, these players are ready to play now, Davies and Holgate, and the next minute they're both in the side. And credit to the lads, they took it on, they had to perform. Then once people are going, he's good enough to play, you've got to go in then and make sure that you show you're good enough to play. Holgate's been majestic in there, and like I said before about Schneiderlin, this is a high profile signing. This is his #1 target this window. Just
someone who he's worked with
comes on, love the socks over the knee, comes on and just goes about his business, and he's not, people are messaging him, what do you reckon of him, and it's like, well, he's doing alright, he doesn't have to do anything flashy.
He's not bought to do anything flashy.
He's just going to get in, and you're going to see that turn soon, and he's going to be starting.
But he needs the fitness, doesn't he? And at the end of the day, we've seen players come in, make mistakes early on because they're not fit, and I'm all for footy plays birds,
just in general,
tweeting out pictures of the flares on the pitch and that. So
she's game. She's like, look, they've 2 songs and they've even 2 games and they've got a song for him and wait till and all that, and he's going over and make you proud. You want that because they're buying into it. But I thought, like you said the week before, we've been critical sometimes of Ronald subs, particularly in the first bit of the season. He seemed to have it spot on, then he kind of lost his way. But Saturday I thought again, Gareth Barry, they were starting to get forward a little bit. Was say Gareth Barry out, put Schneiderlin in there, that shut that down. And then the right thing to do was to take Morales off and get some fresh legs alongside Ron. And he comes on as if he's just having a kick around his mates. Comes on, gets the ball, goes past 3.
It shows you the trust, doesn't it, that the other players put in it. Like, I've never seen Ron, well, I have seen Ron pass, but he doesn't pass a lot. He's pretty greedy, if I'm being honest. And Lookman was like, here now.
The little round the corner that he played, and then he hits it.
You seen that last week though?
Brilliant following in.
You seen that last week though when Lookman scored and Lukaku went over and he just got hold of him for like a couple of minutes. Got hold of him and then he's walking back and he's just talking to him, and God knows what he's saying. He's probably just saying, take it all in, savour it. I'll get you to move for Chelsea, lad. He's probably just like, savour this, take it all in. And you can see he's already took him under him and Balassi have already took him under his wing. These things are really important. That lad's like, he's like 19 or whatever.
He looks younger than me.
He's dead young and he's. He does. He's come to a big club, he's come from Charlie, he's come to a big club, he's been thrust into the Premier League, and you've got 2 big personalities though.
He's only like 18 months into a football career as well, because he didn't go through the academy.
Well, you've got 2 big personalities grabbing hold of him, and 2 that in similar boats for different ways. Ron made his debut, like 16 for Anderlecht, and goes to Chelsea, a big club. And Balassi slightly is different but the same. He's come through that Sunday league, so he's come through this, and they've got hold of him straight away and we'll make you one of us. And you're right, the trust is there because Ron wants to see this lad do well. He trusts him. You've seen him saying already. He's given a little bit round the corner and he just hasn't got hold of it. But as soon as he hit it, I thought, this is Rooney against Leeds. That was the start. When he came on the pitch, that's what I was thinking. This is Rooney against Leeds.
He's just got no fear. He had the other one when he went round. About 5 of them and popped it off and got it back and then switched the play.
I'm thinking.
And that's what, and they were probably looking going.
They don't like him because he should have signed for them, shouldn't he?
Why was
what happened was, I think I'm right in saying this. The reason he signed for Charlton is someone set up a friendly to play the team he was playing for. basically, so because they knew as soon as they see them, they were going to sign him, and for whatever reason, they were supposed to play Palace, and it's been said that if Palace had seen him, they would have snapped and got him, and it got cancelled, and I don't know whether there was reasons why it got cancelled. Maybe someone was being mischievous, so they feel like he should have signed for them, which is just the most pathetic reason to do, just as pathetic as what we're going to come on to. So they sort of think like he should play for them.
Will he still be playing for us anyway?
Yeah,
because we just bought him anyway. But
lucky run nodes.
He just
Chris Armstrong. You know this guy.
I know this guy. Yeah, Chris Armstrong. Yeah.
They won't.
Played against Chris
We're
Armstrong,
old enough.
And about a year later he went to them. But anyway, yeah. So he come on and lit the game up, didn't he? Again with just that little bit of enthusiasm, that little bit of running, and I think you started believing, and like you said, you both said before, you felt as though it was coming. And even though the game is ebbing away, you could see, you just thinking, just get Lookman a chance, or just get Ron a chance. And it was my man of the match, which is...
But you know what's nice though? I'm watching the games, I'm looking at Twitter, and everyone's, not everyone, but a lot of people have got last minute goal, isn't it, for Crystal Palace this, last minute goal, last minute goal from a set piece, last minute goal, and I'm thinking, number one, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, don't
fly it in.
Just don't, yeah, exactly. But I'm thinking, the mentality is shifting here, it's shifting. Because just before we talk about that, I thought Joel basically just confirmed as number one, he's the number one goalkeeper. Yeah. He was brilliant. The save he made from is just fantastic. Gets a big hand on it, pushes it wide,
and then takes the corner.
And then just
that's the biggest thing.
It's the one where he falls on it, and there's a bit of pressure at the end, wasn't there, after our goal, and he just falls on it, and he's like, "I'll take a few minutes."
And he just reminded me when we won down there when Rom scored. The same, he was in goal, and the same performed. They put all big 6-footers around him, and he just comes and takes
4 clean sheets now in his last
5 games. Yeah. He had 12 clean sheets and 21 starts or something in the Premier League.
But for me, I think he just... The difference is he's just a little bit more decisive than Stekelenburg. He's just more... Stekelenburg makes big saves, don't get me wrong, he's made some huge saves for this season, but Joel's just more decisive.
And Joel...
his hair's not as nice as Stekelenburg's.
I don't know, he's got that...
Oh no, Stekelenburg's hair, it's a wonder. Stekelenburg's hair, honestly.
I think
wonder of the world.
I think the thing with Joel is he probably does the basics better than Stekelenburg as well.
And he also deserves it though.
Of course
he deserves it for and he loves sitting on that bench while Tim Howard was flapping around.
That's it. I mean, I think when we had Howard, he knew he was number 2.
Yeah,
he knew he wasn't like injury or suspension is the only way. I mean, he knows he can kind of fight for.
Well, he's the biggest one, isn't he? He there was Stekelenburg started off really well, and I think much to everybody's surprise, we were going, actually decent this keeper. We went to City and he was majestic at City, wasn't he? Then penalty save from the save from De Bruyne, and then he went to Burnley the week later and threw one in his net. And then there was a couple of little mistakes, and you were going, he should, because Chelsea away, he was dreadful, and he got beat by 5, and you're thinking, Joel probably needs to play. And he didn't, he just kept them in, and you're like, oh yeah, okay. Baines tried to put him out of a couple of games, really. He tried in the United game, and it didn't quite work. And then he tried in the...
That you again?
Me, gets half an hour gone. He tried in the... he done him big style in the derby, didn't he?
Yeah.
And since then, Joel's come in and...
But like, when Stekelenburg was out earlier on in the season, Koeman was like, yeah, he's our number 1 when he's back. And he was asked in the... build up to Palace, wasn't he? And he said Stekelenburg is 100% fit, but I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
So he knows there's a change.
So much has changed. It's mad how much has changed. Like we sell what the Watford game is almost the water, like the water map, the water Chevrolet. That for me is where so much has changed. Where he's beforehand everything was up in the air. Who played, who came on as sub. Everyone was just almost like chucked up in the air, and whatever landed, that's what it was. And it's weird now because it almost feels like it was deliberate now. Like he was just mixing shit up to see what stuck. Because there's luck involved as well. Because Balassi getting injured has actually almost created this formation as well. Because you wouldn't imagine we'd play like this unless he was the second striker.
He did striker. He did play. When he played Palace at home, Balassi played up front with Roman, and he had them everywhere. Really, it's just that at the second half. Because don't forget, that game, as much as we battered Palace at home in the first half, and they were much better in the second half, But Ghana should have scored that chance right at the
end.
He
should have. But what I mean is though, is Bernard Balassi going out the side, we all started saying who's going to play right hand side, and some people said, well, put Seamus Koeman on the right, and that didn't sit with me. But now it's 3 and he's pushed on it works.
Well,
so
it's his best position, because let's be honest, he's not the greatest defender.
He's only got one eye. So.
Is he? But his biggest attribute is his attacking play, and that 3-5-2 benefits him. Leicester away, he played so high up the pitch that was one of the key reasons why we won the game.
Second highest scorer in the league behind.
Yeah,
but that's not 4. That's when we only got 4, which is worrying, isn't it? Which is why we need a centre forward. Well,
we as I say, we were bossing.
Anyway,
we were bossing the game. They had that one chance, great save as we'd said, but we were bossing the game. We kept on going. We had control of the game, which was really important. We had so much control of the game. But the goal, I just don't know what the Ferrari's about. The lad goes up, he gets squeezed out, he goes off, he's got cramp, clear as day as everyone.
2 foot off the pitch.
He's off the pitch. We keep the ball, we get a throw. And do you know what? If I'm a Palace player, right, and I've got a brain, I'm jumping in front of the referee there, in front of the throat with my hands up in the air, and I'm going to give loads to the ref and go, what's going on? If you're a Palace player, that's what you do. But none of them did that. They'll just look.
They know the rules.
But they let us take. But the
players know the
rules. Don't come into things. Rules don't come into things. You got a brain as a footy player. If we were when we were playing footy, if someone wanted a quick free kick, you just made sure you stood in front of it. You stand. Everyone knows that. You know that from Sunday League. You stand in front of it and you don't let them make a quick. And after time, the referee go. Got away on someone have a little go here. But you just buys you the time. If one of their players had just gone and just gone, oh well, put their hands up, stopped us from taking the throw and said, ref, he's down over there, the ref would have had to make a decision. The ref didn't have to make a decision in this, because we kept the ball going. The ref can just turn around and go, oh, he's just rolled back on the pitch. I'll tell you what, I won't book him for you. He didn't make a decision. We kept the ball. Great ball by Holgate into the box in the first place, which Hennessy pushed out. But the composure of Davies when that ball, the fact that he controlled it with 1 foot and then passed it with the other foot.
Gives him the eyes as well.
Oh, it's just
behind, he just gives him the eye back. They all run out the other way.
It's just phenomenal. And absolutely. Seamus, 97th minute, and the
87th minute.
Sorry, 87th. The composure he's got. To take that first touch inside to steady it and then to smash it right in the middle of the goal, not giving the keeper any opportunity, is just...
That's why he got man of the match.
Magical.
Key moments.
Magical.
Key moments, and he's come up big. The touch, like you say, the ball by Tom Davies is brilliant, the touch by Seamus is brilliant, and then the finish is brilliant.
Koeman said after the game that because of the Morales chance and the Funes Mori chance, told him to shoot low. He said the second half, shoot low, it's harder for the keeper. And Seamus just smashes it in the roof.
He's not saving. He's on him and he's not saving. He's not getting anywhere near that. And it was such a big goal. And again, it reaffirms that fitness thing. When Kluttenberg's there and the Koeman's giving it, the fitness, they're looking, the rewards. It's in black and white. Yeah. This X amount of late goals. Because you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. Arsenal was 86 or 85. Palace there, less than 90 odd.
I was going to say the subs are really important in that, because it keeps you. And again, this sort of come over Christmas. The Leicester games when he brought Davis on. The subs are so important. They're positive. They're driving us forward. I wasn't necessarily happy that he brought Jagielka on the pitch.
I could see why he done it.
I could see why he did it, but I just think I always refer to it as the weird sub.
It was the weird sub.
It was a pure weird sub.
The thing about the weird sub was when we used to bring the weird sub on, there was always 4 at the back and he'd come on and no one would have it. There was already 3 centre backs. Jack just went and played in front of them, and he won the first header and won a free kick, so he justified being on the pitch. It breaks it up and all. I could understand. I knew he was going to do it. It was obvious because they were just banging anything into the box.
There was just one though. I don't know if anyone noticed it. There was one, and Joel was going to grab it, and
Baines sliced it up.
Dodgy feed, I couldn't quite see who it was, but yeah, I think it might have been Baines, and the keeper's he's got it.
But there's someone on Baines' shoulder.
I know, but he had it, and you're thinking with the time that was left, that would have been it. And then it went, and it come back, and then they got the corner, and then luckily enough, Joel just comes out, grabs it, and that's the end of the game. And you just like,
phew,
thank God for that, because we've been here so many times when we would have been here.
We'd have lost that last year, I think, or at least drew.
I don't probably do, because
they would have got a last minute goal last year. That's all.
I think the thing about it is it's it was only after it, because that Leicester game in the cup you tend to forget about it, and I was like, that's 3 wins on the run. Everton we don't really do 3 wins on the run, and we've done it twice this season. We have 4 wins, 4 wins out of 5. You're looking at that now and going, since that Watford game I think we took 16 from 21, and you're like, that's unbelievable, because after Watford you were looking thinking, I don't think we'll get 16 points for the rest of the season, because the way they weren't great that day and we were terrible. We looked like we couldn't defend anything. Now, and again, it's everything's the goalie, the back 3 have loads of faith in Joe. You can just tell.
Yeah.
You can just tell. They're not hesitating. And he comes and, that, like we said before, the Remy thing, and just comes and takes it.
To be fair, for all the set pieces they had, we dealt with it really. Because we did give away some stupid free kicks away, like we did against Man City. We give away some stupid free kicks, but we dealt with them all really well. We won most of the headers. Now for a team like Palace, Palace, Allardyce and Scotland. Oh my God! And Benteke,
it's like match made in heaven.
And for them to only get really. Okay, Benteke said the first half, but only to get one other header on target. You just think, how would
he only had one.
We've done really well there.
On target, didn't he? Because they don't include them.
And we deserve to. And as I say, we deserve to win. And another thing I liked about it, is I think there was no panic either towards the end. You know what I mean? Like the goal itself, there's no panic in that goal. We just kept, and that's another really good sign of a team getting better and getting more confident. You go back to the Man United days when they used to win games in the last minute. They didn't used to win games in the last minute because they were just pumping the ball long and open. There was a flick. They just kept playing football, and when it came out, they just kept playing football. And sometimes you think, did these people actually know how long's left? Because they just keep playing football and keep playing football.
Sometimes though, as a fan, isn't it?
But you're
thinking, get it in.
But if you watch it long enough,
moving,
you get confidence, don't you, in those players? And that's it. That was the thing on Saturday for me. It was the fact that those players kept on going, and the fact that they know that they're just as fit as anybody now. Yeah. They know that they've scored so many goals. We used to have it on the Moyes. We used to know that the amount of times we used to score in the last minute. It give you as a fan that extra little belief that you could score in the you fully expected to equalise or score a winner under Moyes in the last minute, because you'd seen it that many times.
We just didn't have the quality under Moyes, did we? We had the fitness. No. Now we've got the both. We've got in Lukaku. We've got a goal scorer. We've got Barkley. It's all looking good, but obviously, we go to Stoke on a wet Wednesday.
No, the thing is, I mean, people might have watched the game and think we're going a little bit over the top about things, but I think it's just the fact that it was a different kind of game and how much we did control it, and yet we could have done a lot better. We should have really won the game about 3-0, really.
But their keepers made 3 brilliant saves.
There was a couple though where he's parried them out and no one's
there was a couple that there was
put that in.
That annoys me a bit wrong. Is that they're cheap goals then? If you follow in there, they're cheap. Coleman followed the Luckman one and it's just that Hennessy grabbed it. If he would have spilt it, but like he did with the other Seamus.
But then again, it shouldn't be all beyond wrong.
No.
There should be.
But that's why I was going. That's why I was frustrated with Morales.
Yeah.
Because it isn't all down to Ron. With you're his partner, the pair he should be running, because they are cheap goals.
But do you know what? I think this is where.
Because Ross followed the other one.
See, I think this is where. I think this is where we're gonna. I think this is where Luckman's. You're seeing Luckman, a bit more of a natural poacher. Where Morales is not a natural poacher. And if we get more men in the box, we'll create obviously more chances. So.
The other thing is that I remember you talking a few weeks ago that old school, if the ball's crossed in, your wing back should be in the back post.
Yeah, your full back
on Saturday. Not as close as we'd like, but
it's got to be.
We're starting to get more men in the box because more players now are getting more confident with the system and knowing that. See, this was the thing about Martinez in the first year. The fullbacks used to always go because they knew they were covered by McCarthy and Barry. Yeah. Now that started to get eroded away in the second year, didn't it? You know what I mean? The fullbacks weren't tempted, and in the third year we were so bad defensively that nothing was happening and no one was going anywhere, and midfielders weren't even going.
Though Baines and Coleman were always in the box. Yeah. That was a big thing. It was when Martinez come in. At first he didn't, but then as it evolved and McCarthy dropped in, it did. But a lot of good sides. Listen, we could have gone and won 3-0 there, and people say, that's more like it. But 1-0 away from home, 87th minute, doesn't get much sweeter than that.
No. I mean, if you lose against Palace, you look at the fixture list and you think you should have taken at least 3 points from City again or Palace. So you lose against City and you beat Palace. That's what you'd expect.
They just backed up a really good wins.
And the other thing is, and as we said this we said it on the previews, it's about the other side of the game. It's about going to places like Hull. It's like going to places like Burnley, where you're expected to win.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, where you're expected to win, where you're expected to have more of the ball and win. Because we're great when and I said this after the Leicester game. We're great when there's no pressure on us. We have to start relishing the pressure of going to places and taking it on board and dominating and all the best teams, like the very best teams, the fans of the opposition turn up thinking they're already got beat. That's the level you've got to be at to win games. Now, if teams feel like you're going to turn up and go, we can beat them. Did you see what happened when they went to Burnley? Did you see what happened when they went to Bournemouth? Did you see what happened when they went to Hull? We've got a chance here today. You ruffle them up. I've heard it. You hear it with like idiots like Mason. And they go, oh, get their fans will be kicking off after about 20 minutes. Just get that. If you can turn that round and make it the other way, quieten the opposition down, get their fans really nervous. And I think that's been. I think the likes of Leicester, we were a bit away. We were like that. We turned it on them. Their fans started having a go at them.
That's what happened to us at Goodison.
Yeah, and Palace was the same thing Saturday. Their fans started getting a little bit nervous and started to get worried second half because you think at the other side of it. Think about Palace fans. They're in the bottom three now, aren't they? The Allardyce can't buy a win. They're thinking, we've got to win this. This is for them. We've got to win this game. We've got this game. This is a big game. That's what we've got to start doing. We've got to start. And now the only way to do that is actually by winning games and winning them comfortably. So,
good win.
Yeah, right. We're going to stop this before Baz's piss bag goes off again. Yeah. Big thanks to Fedz. Well, good debut by Fedz. Jumping in there. Just jumping in.
Like nothing.
Come on,
these kids.
Ped, you're not interrupting me, you knobhead. I like it. Not even letting Baz's piss bag cause him any disruptions. So yeah, we'll have him back. Although he's going to
just so you know, mate, it's there it is.
Put it away.
Yeah, electronic Ped. Yeah, it's not like yours. It's on the back.
What, my
Let's go.
The ladder? We're not in Westworld yet. Yeah, tell us what you think in the comments about this one. Don't forget, go back and watch our instant reactions, Baz's player ratings. Do you agree with them? Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.